guys, how are you today? Listen, this is, I debated whether I should do this video or not. I got a lot of requests for it. I guess it's in the news here, not like it is in England. So someone from England asked me to do it. She said it was a big thing in England. And so I decided to do it, but then I forgot there was a time difference. And it's like 11 something over there, 11:30, almost midnight. So hopefully all my British subscribers will watch it in the morning, perhaps when they get up or something like that. But this is explosive. It's complicated. It's just a mess. That's the only way I can look at it. So let me sum it up. What's going on? Okay, so it's being alleged that the person that made, and the exact comments were how dark Harry's skin was going to be, in which determined whether he was going to get a title or something like that, is Prince Charles. And that's his dad. He outed his own dad. So you can understand why tensions are high. The rumors are that what do I call it? Buckingham Palace, because we call it the White House here. The royals, I'll say it that way, are very worried about their reputation taking a hit for these alleged racism allegations. I guess it's a big deal. Prince Charles specifically is the one most worried. He wanted to come out and do as they describe, a point-by-point rebuttal against the interview. He wanted to take it line by line and then say his part on what was a lie, what was true, what happened, what really didn't happen. They ultimately went against that. The Queen wants to try to handle this behind closed doors. She plans on having a meeting allegedly to try to calm both sides. It's a big deal in England. No one has came out publicly besides the Queen the other day. I'm talking about Charles and Williams, Prince Charles and Prince Williams came out, and Prince Charles came out today, and he openly talked to he got criticized for this too. He went on oh gosh, I wish I was English, where he visited a lot of patients that had COVID, and they happen to be African American, well, not Black, British Black. I don't know what you call it. And so people were saying he's doing this for his reputation. Anyway, a reporter caught him outside one of the COVID places, and this is what he said. And hopefully I can put this up.
Sir, can I ask, what did you think of the interview?
As you could see, it was nothing. They're not speaking on it. The only other person that said anything publicly would be Prince Williams. Also passing by was a reporter, just kind of shouted a question out to him. And he made a brief comment saying, "We're not racist," meaning the royal family.
Sir, have you spoken to your brother since the interview?
I haven't spoken yet, but I will do.
And can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
We're very much not a racist family.
That's what he said. Just, we're very much not a racist family. They're saying also that Meghan's popularity has even taken a bigger dive over across the pond, and so has Prince Charles. I'm trying to get it all in. We all heard that allegedly first he came out and said that he quit. This is Piers Morgan, for having very strong opinions on Good Morning Britain. Ultimately, the rumor is that he got fired because Meghan Markle called in and complained. It's so much that drifted over here, where Sharon Osbourne came out, who I love, by the way. I really love Sharon Osbourne. Osbourne came out and defended her friend Piers Morgan, and that led to a big controversy in itself. Let me show you what she said. Sorry, guys, hold on. I hope you can hear.
I will ask you again, Sharrell. I've been asking you during the break. I'm asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation. You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a Black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this. It's either we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated
I think it's
anything,
too late. I think that seed's already sown.
but that is why I'm saying for me. I'm saying for me. For me. I thought I was asking a question about the perception for other people.
She very much felt attacked. As you could see in the video, she was crying. But she got attacked anyway. The public came out and said that she should be ashamed of herself for defending Pierce. They're calling Pierce Morgan racist. There's no specific thing that he said that was racist, like allegedly Prince Charles said, but he always, according to the British public, attacks Meghan Markle. And then there's the rumors that, she was going to date. She went on a date with him. He never called her when she met Harry. So this thing has turned into a mess. And a lot of you guys want to talk about it. I hope I got it all. It's a lot. I'm going to start taking in the calls. I'm going to start with Freddie because he lives over there. Freddie, Jeremiah, and Perry. Let's start with Freddie. So the girl that asked me to do this said that it's a huge deal over there and you can't escape it. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, it's still absolutely everywhere. I mean, every newspaper, every outlet in the UK you go on, we're still talking about it. And I think what we now need to be doing is we need to be talking about, as I said the other day, we need to be questioning these social media platforms of why they've been allowed to promote racism on those in the comment section. That's the big problem. And I think that's where we should be. That's what we should be discussing now. The interviews happened. We can't reverse time.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you believe that it was Prince Charles that made the racist, insensitive comments?
We don't 100% know, but at the same time, here in the UK, a lot of people have suspected that it's Camilla Parker Bowles, his second wife, the Duchess of Cornwall, that has said it. But we don't know for 100% who has said it. What we do know is that Oprah said that Harry said at the end of filming that it wasn't the Queen or the Duke of Edinburgh, that being her husband, Prince Philip. That's all we know at the moment.
Let me ask you a question, Jeremiah. Would you rat your dad out? Even if he did say so? That's your father.
I probably wouldn't, which as we seen in the interview, he didn't. Not saying that it was Prince Charles, but I think everybody kind of figured, especially the part where he said him and his dad wasn't on speaking terms or his dad wasn't taking his calls. So I think everybody kind of assumed it was him. But I think Harry said it best to say, I would never reveal who said that. So to me, it wasn't just a regular. He kind of did, but well, actually, he kind of didn't. It was his wife that kind of did. Because at that point, when his wife revealed it, it's not really too much he can say, except I'm not going to reveal who said it.
Perry, he ratted his dad out. I mean, we might have problems behind the scenes. He spoke on it. He didn't mention the name.
He didn't rat his father out, though, in my
How do you feel about it?
No, I'm just saying I probably wouldn't rat my father out, but I don't feel that he did in that situation either.
Freddie, do you think he ratted his dad out?
I think he left it open to interpretation. I mean, he even left it into interpretation that it could have been the Queen or Prince Philip. The only reason we know it's not them is because he made it clear to Oprah it wasn't them. But then we've got other royals who are quite big, but they're not well known in the United States, that it could have been as well. I mean, we don't know. We don't know if we're ever going to know who the person is. But we've had a lot, but we've had actually the choir. It was an all-black choir that sung at Harry and Meghan's royal wedding. And the head of that, she said that she didn't believe that Prince Charles was racist because she's been invited and she's sung at events of his, private events and charitable events of his, and she's, as far as she's concerned, she's never experienced that. So a lot of people are sort of saying, well, could it be Camilla?
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say you were the culprit and your son ratted you out. Can that relationship be fixed?
I mean, it's a hard one. I think there would definitely need to be apologies. We don't know whether it was like a serious racist thing, or it was someone being, well, obviously it being racist, but not them intentionally being racist, if you get what I'm trying to say.
You're saying it could have been not targeted,
like a passing comment
like
that was racist, but wasn't intended to be
public and offend anyone.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing. The big thing is we don't know the context of what was said, but definitely I think we're going in the right direction of investigating what is happening. And I think the big thing now is the social media accounts to be dealing with the racism and these media outlets that are allowing these comments that are there. I think that's the big problem, because they talk, that was where the racism was. But the thing is that that you can access those articles anywhere. You can receive that racism anywhere in the world. And that is why I say social media platforms and outlets, online outlets, are the ones that need to be targeted to stop the racism from happening, from people using it as a platform to be racist.
Let me ask you this, one more comment. Is it true what they were reporting over there that Prince Charles' reputation is taking a hit, and so is Meghan Markle's? Is that true from the Oprah interview?
I think, yeah, Meghan Markle's has, both their reputations have taken a hit. I think what I was trying to say the other day, which wasn't clear, and I am sorry if people did think I was being racist. I am not racist. You know, if I were racist, why would I work with Sharrell?
In my all-black team, yeah.
In an all-black team,
yeah.
Exactly. What I was trying to say, and this is the reason why people don't, it's not to do, I think with the majority of people, it's not to do with the skin color. I think people are quite protective of the sort of the tradition they have. And what Meghan and Harry did that was different to, say, William and Kate, was they tried to trademark their Sussex title. Now, those titles are given to you by the Queen. You can't just take it and then go, I'm going to use it and make a business out of that. So that was sort of interesting. And then I think I think it was them representing charitable things about the environment and things. Whereas, although other royals do fly private jet, they weren't talking about it in the same way out loud, and then spending $500,000 in New York on a baby shower, and going to Elton John's villa in south of France and stuff. And I think that's what annoyed people. And in the interview, a lot of people were like, well, we didn't have money and things like that. And Meghan's Suits co-star, Wendell Pierce, who's a black man, he criticized the interview. And he sort of has the same opinion that I have, in that they were sort of it was the financial aspect of where they were playing the victim. When Meghan Markle's worth $4 million and Harry's inherited around 16 to 18 million pounds, you know, most of us would dream to have that money, and you're sort of going, oh, I'm cut off, when people are losing jobs, houses, and are destitute in some respects. So
sorry, go ahead.
So that was what I think that was where a lot of people had objections to what they were saying in the interview in that specific regard.
Jeremiah, did Piers Morgan quit or get fired?
Oh, he got canned.
Oh, I've got some
and do you
insiders.
think that Sharon Osbourne was being attacked for defending him? Just defending him, people started labeling her a racist for defending him. Do you think that's
possibly? But I think Sharon Osbourne is too old not to know how to handle it. And what I mean by that, you know, the old saying, birds of a feather flock together. So if you're defending someone who people are calling him a racist, that's going to be some people's natural reaction. Not saying that's right or wrong, but you need to know how to handle it, especially since you're in the public eye, to say like, hey, so I get because we're friends and I defended him why people are saying this, but this is the way I feel about X, Y, and Z. Like, I feel like how she came at Sharrell wasn't right. I feel like she got too in her feelings.
Well, she did come out. I forgot to say this part. She came out today and she apologized. She said she felt attacked, that she supports the Black community, and she needs to learn to listen more and stop being so defensive. That's because
I'm sure, you know, with shows like that and The View, I'm pretty sure they talked about prior to what was going to be the conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Perry, did you have anything to add? This Prince Charles thing. Do you think he said it? Oh, I already asked you that.
Well, yeah,
How does he fix his reputation? How does he fix his reputation? Because that's what he's worried about.
Really, I couldn't tell you how you fix it. I mean, either if you know you said it, you might apologize. But I think the reason why he didn't come out and, like you said, clear his father, because it's not ratting on. He didn't say his father did it. He left it open to anybody could have said it.
Yeah.
And I think to clear him, if he is the one who said it, and his wife to come out and say later it was him, how would he look?
It's crazy. All right. Yeah. Perry, I'm going to drop you and Freddie and bring up more calls.
Okay.
Do you want me to share my ITV insiders now, or in a bit of what they've
in a bit, because this is filling up. In a bit, I'll bring you back. Bring you back. Hi, Nurse and Nerd. How are you guys?
Oh my Lord, we're so happy that you're feeling much better.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's so sweet. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. What do you guys have to add to this mess?
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to really put it out there. As far as I understand, this is dangerous. Let me tell you why this is dangerous. You remember how you had that whole the meeting where you were discussing leaks, and she was talking about all these people were racist after they didn't give her $1 million contract and whatever. People are now going to call wolf so much that the word no longer means its actual bearing. And let's not sit up here and play semantics as if though, like Sharon Osbourne, please teach me about racism. Ma'am, I'm not a school educator, nor am I the racist police. You know exactly the undertone, and I've sat, and then Freddie had asked whether or not if a person's racist, why would they work with Black people? The slave master was having, sexual.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
That has not. Come on, we need to stop playing these word semantics and these games. You have people that are around you because of a skin complexion, which is so ridiculous. They will think less of you. Because of class, they will think less of you. Because of whatever foolishness, you have a different area code. Why we have the Real Housewives of Atlanta and this and that. Someone is going to feel they are superior in some sort. But when we are discussing something as literally deeply rooted, and we love to, again, everybody like that, they don't know what racism is. What was the Queen's monarchy and the money that these people have been able to make years after decades? It was based on the trade that they put money in to make people around the world that did not look like them were within. So y'all were trading human bodies. Let's stop with the semantics.
So you're saying the royals need to step up and face this head on, have like maybe something public and say who said it.
At this point, I don't even care about who said it. You know why I don't care about who said it?
Why?
Meghan herself and Charles herself, whatever, Harry said that they would still be sitting right next to these people that quote unquote were so racist, and you had no problem with it. It wasn't until one or two things that they stopped doing for you, all of a sudden, oh, well, they're racist. Well, ma'am, it tells me that you were complicit. You were fine as long as you were getting whatever you wanted to get. And again, even Harry said that this was said to him before they got married.
Whoa, are you saying that Meghan probably knew about this for a while, but as long as things were going her way, she didn't say anything?
In the interview, Harry admitted to Oprah that if it wasn't for Meghan, he would have still been with that mess.
But he said that they said that to him while they were dating, so they knew the road of them being together would be difficult.
Yeah, he said he knew the signs in the interview, but obviously I don't think the husband would tell his wife the signs he's been seeing, and then come at all. It's going to be. We knew it was going to be hard. They're in a partnership. A husband and a wife, if they find something, they're not going to keep the person in the dark. So I'm quite sure that Harry talked to Meghan when he first started seeing the signs. Both of them said, "Oh yeah, we knew it wasn't going to be easy." Both of them, not just one of them. Both of them said they knew it wasn't going to be easy. That's proof enough to know that they knew what they're getting into. They knew what they were signing up for. I know they're putting their hands over there. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Who's going to buy that?
And then too, if we're talking about, like Freddie had said, that there was a choir of one black person, two black people. If you now have to count how many black people agreed, disagreed, that tells me everybody's too lazy. Now there's PR stuff. You see one African woman with an African tribe garb on, walking around with this one, talking about he's not racist. Okay, you know what? Listen, the moment you got to point out, I got one best friend that's black, I can't be a racist. You know what? I'll see you.
But to that point, though, you remind me of our past commander in chief. Prior to his presidency, he probably had a lot of African Americans supporting him. Everybody loved Donald, but until he started showing things, that's when it was all revealed. So I say all that to say, like, you may have one black friend or 6 black friends, but just because they haven't seen anything doesn't mean there isn't anything undertone in there. And sometimes, depending on the situation, that's when it comes out.
Let's follow the money. Let's follow the money.
Hold on a second, Nurse. RT.
Yes.
Do you think that Meghan is playing the race card? She knew about this a long time, but she mentioned it when it was convenient for her.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. Look, I'm in Australia, so you know we're part of the Commonwealth. I think inherently as a country, England and Australia is probably the same, where we're not inherently racist, but we still have a large proportion of certain individuals in a generation that make very off-color remarks where they don't intend to be racist, but it comes across that way. And I really find it hard to believe, like you all have been saying, that she didn't come across any of this prior to being cut off from anything.
Yeah. Listen, stay on the line. I got a long line. Nurse, please stay on the line. I'm trying to give everybody a chance to speak because they're passionate. People are back here. I'm going to Corey. You got something to say?
Hey, girl. Yes, I do. Nurse.
Hold on. Does everybody have their tabs closed?
Say that again.
How you doing, Sharrell? I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you so much. I hear echo from you, Corey. Say something again.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say hi. Glad you're doing better. Don't overdo it.
I know. Thank you. Go ahead, Corey.
I think Nurse and Nerd is full of it. I think RT is full of it. How can you, RT in Australia, say that they're not inherently racist when they took the Aboriginals and put them in boarding schools to assimilate them and take away their culture? Girl, please.
Oh, okay.
Please know your history.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that Harry threw his father under the bus?
No, I think it could have been Butchie the dog-faced girl, aka Camilla. I do, because I think the way that that Charles took on Doria, how he was making attentive to her during the wedding, how he just offered to be a stand-in for her worthless father. But he could have a little racist in him. I don't know, but I don't see racist people. And I've been called the N-word at 8, so I know a little bit of something about that. And that he could have some ignorant tendencies in him, but I don't know. I don't know about
Are
Charles.
you saying that if the royals were racist, they wouldn't have accepted Meghan in the beginning and even gave their blessings for the wedding?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm on video.
I'm talking about the queen. The queen wouldn't have given her consent if she was
racist
against a black person coming in. And like I said, Queen Charlotte is the first, not Meghan. Queen Charlotte is the first. They should know their history. She is of African, Spanish, and German descent, and she married Mad King George IV.
We gotta bring Freddie up for this because I don't know anything about that. Hold on.
He don't even know it either because he didn't even mention it the other day.
Who is Queen Charlotte? Do you know who Queen Charlotte is, Freddie?
I don't really know that bit of history, but I did read it after I was talking about that the other day I was on.
So you're saying she's an African American princess?
She's an African princess. She's a princess of African descent, Spanish descent, and German descent, which the royal family is descendants of Germans. They've intermarried, I don't know how many times in the family. And she's a descendant. Victoria is a descendant of Queen Charlotte.
Pretty girl,
what you want to add? Elizabeth II is a descendant of.
Hi, how are you? What did you want to add to this?
Yes, I've been wanting to tell everybody this. Are y'all really surprised that she used the waist card and she used the mental card? You know damn well she ain't trying to commit no suicide, okay? That's just the they put out there. And number one, I don't see nothing she said. I'm like Piers Morgan. I don't believe nothing she's saying. And Sharon should have apologized because she was sticking up for her friend. Now, I believe that some people in the royal family do got some, like you said, some idiotic, stupid in inside of them. But people who hang out with black people all the time, like the wars now, you know, that's very popular being black now. You have a black friend. You know what I'm saying? That's very popular now. So
I get that.
I just don't believe nothing that she says. Number one, that can't get her career back on track. Woo! Number two, Meghan, they can't get her career back on track because they ain't making no money. They ain't got the money they used to have. They got somebody.
Stop.
No, girl.
You're saying that Meghan's manipulative, and part of the reason she's manipulative is because she needs money. Is that what you're saying?
They don't need no money.
I believe so because you see, I'm gonna tell you. It's different. I'm gonna tell you something, baby dog. They go to a black man in America to get some security and get in a black man house. Cause ain't no white man in America studying about their ass. That's what they don't blame.
Okay. Wait a minute, girl. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Sharrell. Wait a minute. Hold up. The link in the chain between Tyler Perry and Harry is Oprah, and that's his friend. And you need to stop saying that people who say that they would kill themselves is not right. I believe it. She was emotional. She was emotional and she was pregnant. When you're pregnant, you have high emotions. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
Go ahead, Corey, and then I'm going to drop you guys and bring up more people. Go ahead.
Let me make this point right here. When they started talking about the weight of the baby, see, her and Oprah was talking about it. When Harry came out, he said he really didn't want to talk about it. He said, I don't want to get into it. So she put it out there first. She was trying to play the waist card. He didn't want to get into it. And I believe she's being manipulative and everything. I believe she lying. She trying to get something else going on. She can't get to pay the victim. Stop playing the victim and whining, okay?
Go ahead, Corey. You have one more comment.
Okay.
Thank you,
Listen.
Cheryl. I love you. Love
Thank
you
you.
too, Corey.
Don't hang up. I'll bring you back. We got a long line. Go ahead, Corey.
They don't need money. They have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
They just ink deals
Mm-hmm.
that will sustain them for the rest of their lives. You do not cut the security of the crown prince. I don't care if he's 6th or 9th in line. Come on. And then they tell everybody where they are. Of course they needed security fast. So the one person he called who knew that could get him security fast was Oprah.
And that's the thing too, because he said something in an interview basically saying like, I didn't ask for this title. So since he didn't ask for it, he already has it. So how you gonna cut off security? Because the threat is already there. You can't turn off the threat now because you stepping back as senior royals, you know, so that part made sense.
Hold on.
Exactly.
A lot of people's
Wait a minute.
A lot of
Go ahead,
people's
Fred.
attitude with that was, I'm just saying what the other side people thought of that was, a lot of people's attitude was, well, you know, you're a royal, that is a job. You know, you don't leave a business or you don't leave a job and expect to get a salary and the company benefits.
Okay.
He's the son of Diana.
Yeah. Jana, what did you have to
in
add?
itself is dangerous.
Jana, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. What did you have to add to this?
Okay. First of all, thank you. And I'm so happy that you are safe and your son is safe and and all this. And you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And Terry tried his best to take care of your channel, but he's just Terry.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'll let him know. I'll bring him back in a minute. So what did you want to add to this?
Well, I actually worked on the studio with Meghan.
Wait, excuse me?
I actually worked in the studio with Meghan.
Oh, that's what I thought you said. Go ahead.
Back when she was trying to become an actress and all that kind of crap. I'm trying to not say the wrong words so you won't get demonetized.
Thank you.
But at that point, she had already pinpointed Harry when he was in the U.S. And that's when she met him, quote unquote, in college. That is not true.
It's not?
No.
Okay, what's the truth?
The truth is that she went out and looked for him and found him.
Did you hear that, Freddie?
There have been loads of different rumors about how they met. The rumor that I believe is that she was in. It was the rumor that is out there is that she was in London and she met through a friend who owns the Soho group. So they own like Soho Beach House in Miami and things. Someone that worked for them was friends with both Meghan and Harry, and that was how they met in London at the time that
at the water fountain.
I'm sorry.
Do you remember the water fountain, Freddie? I don't know you, but do you remember how she met him at the water fountain?
No.
Okay. See.
When they got engaged, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she had already preset everything up. She, here in the U.S., she already had her eyes on him because he came to the U.S. and was in college and doing all, getting everything. And she had her eyes on him, and they met through some friends, went out, and it was just a good connection with a lot of people, quote unquote. And then she followed him, and she continued to follow him.
So you're saying she's manipulative?
I would compare her to another person that's doing something to another person. AH and JD.
AH?
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Ciao.
Oh,
You're preaching now, girl. Child, you are reaching.
I'm not reaching
No,
because this woman,
Yeah, you are.
had her hands and had her fingers set on this man. And
Reaching.
why am I?
Let her talk, Corey. Hold on. Let her
Because
talk.
I'm telling you what I saw and I was involved with it. Why am I reaching?
No, just tell me how you were involved.
Well, I was on the set.
Oh, are you saying that you got a close? You worked close with her, so you kind of got a better sense of her personality, and she seems very manipulative, and you agree?
I didn't mean to incorporate the AH and JD in this. I'm just talking about the personality of a person. I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying that she has the personality. When you hook on somebody, you go after them and you make sure that you hook them. And she did. Now, Harry.
Oh, hold on one second. Corey, can I drop you? Don't hang up. I'm going to bring you back. Hold on. Go ahead.
Jana?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. All I'm trying to say is when she was at the beginning of her career and she was doing the TV shows and all that kind of stuff she was doing, she wanted more. And Harry came to the US and she found him and she latched on, but she couldn't. She had her friends connect her to him, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I've heard a lot of people say that. Gabor.
Well, there was a rumor that, what Jana's saying is I've heard that rumor when she was in England. She got some former WAG, which is a soccer player.
That's exactly
soccer player's wife, to try and hook her up with Ashley Cole, who is the ex-wife of Sharrell, who was a judge on X Factor USA.
That's exactly right. And so what this is how, it makes it balls into what has happened into today reality. She did get him. She did marry into the royals. She did not like having to be controlled. She did not like having her voice, quote unquote, shut down.
Yeah.
She did not like rules. So she convinced Harry that everything is against her. She convinced Harry it was almost like what his mother, rest in peace, Diana, went through with all the paparazzi. And Harry, he is very naive, and I love him for that, but he was very naive, and so he listened to her.
I get what you're saying. I heard people say that before. Gabor, welcome to the chat. What do you have to say?
Hey, y'all.
It's good to hear from you.
Hey.
Sound off. What do you have to say?
I'm torn. Half of me don't believe anything that Meghan is saying because she lied about the most important thing. And she lied and said that she didn't Google the family. Girl, I know people that Google regular people, right? Most of the girls that I know Google men that they go on a date with who's not in their social circle, right? Because you never know what type of mugshots and stuff he's got. So I know for sure that you Googled this man when you met him. You did. Simple as that. And it makes me not believe anything else that she has to say. And she didn't even she didn't even say when Oprah asked her, are you upset that your son wouldn't be getting a title, that he wouldn't have a title? And she kept saying, well, if it means he's going to have security, yes, you're upset. There's nothing wrong with saying you're upset that he wouldn't get the title. He should have the title, right? It's his birthright. He is a part of the family, so he should have the title. Why are you so afraid to say that you want your son to have the title?
Gabor, can I ask you a question, please? Okay, she said that it was this racial, quote unquote, card. This is brand new that has just put out there. She's trying to get back to the cancel culture and trying to make everybody believe her status. She's trying to keep her voice. When Harry, in many interviews, they have just said, "What do you think, Harry?" And he just looks at her. He just sits there quietly. He lets her speak. What do you think about that relationship between them?
Yeah, that was interesting, but I do think that's Harry. He's not that confident a person. I mean, let's be honest. I think no way he wouldn't have had the confidence to talk to people and stuff. I mean, didn't they even invited people like they didn't even know Oprah, the Clooneys, or James Corden. James Corden actually said on the Late Show, "Oh, I'd love to get invited to the royal wedding," and then a couple of weeks later, he's like, "Oh, my wife and I have been invited."
But
I think that people are not giving Meghan enough credit.
But Freddie, they brought in. I'm sorry, Gabber, I didn't mean that. But Freddie, they brought in the U.S. people like, what's his name? Crap, it just left me. But they brought in a lot of U.S. people to George Clooney is what I'm trying to say. She brought in people that have presidents in the U.S. and he makes statements. And all of a sudden, George Clooney has said, "I don't want anything to do with them. That is not how I believe, and that is not what I'm doing." What do you think about that? I mean, she brought a lot of Americans over for her wedding, and now they're backtracking and they're saying, "I don't want any part of it." What do you know in your area? What's going on? I mean,
you're asking Gabor.
I was asking Freddie because he said this, and I'm asking, why did she bring all these Americans in for her wedding, and yet now they do not support her anymore? She has made a mockery of us in the U.S., and now she's just throwing out this racist card, and it is disrespectful to all of us, and it's disgusting.
Well, yeah, that's true, and I'd actually really like Miss Navir to join this chat if she's still online, because she actually, I'll get onto that in a sec. But you are right, because they didn't, none of these people knew each other. I think maybe the reason that motivated people like the Clooneys to go on is maybe they thought if they were in with Meghan and Harry, obviously Prince Charles, the prince's trust and all that type of stuff, that maybe they were seeking getting title, damehoods or things like that.
Let me see. I'm trying to get as many people in as I can.
But what I wanted to say is, I'd like if Mrs. Navir's on the chat, I think it'd be interesting because she said something earlier on, which one of my friends who I was speaking to, I was at school with from Nigeria, said the same thing, was that Meghan sort of picked and choose when she's being sort of Caucasian and black, because she had to say she was white and now she's saying she's black. And my friend from Nigeria was saying, this is, I am black. I've had to go through racism.
Hold on one second. Let me bring up a couple more people.
When I worked with her on stage, she never said she was black.
That's right. She's not black. She's not black.
Okay, I lost the call.
She's biracial, so she's not black.
She never said that.
Let me drop you, Miss Jana, and I'll bring you back.
She's not black. She's biracial.
Long people hang up that I wanted to get in, like, hi, Perry. What did you want to add to this?
No, you know what? Like, I'm gonna say this because stories going from the east, going from the west. I don't really know. I don't follow the rules. I don't really care about this stuff like that. But I think oftentimes when arguments occur, people gonna throw out in the windows this way or that way, to cover their side and stuff. It could just be a basic thing is that she went into this marriage with him thinking that the life would be a certain way. Went in there and she wasn't really happy with it. Then you get the other people that's waiting in line in the royal family could have been just almost as if they, you know how jealousy come along? Mm-hmm. Who is this person coming in, getting this clout? And her being from America and stuff like that, try to, you know how they get like a rank structure or whatever, right? That people that don't have a chance. I won't say that she never felt like things was racial in there.
Meghan?
Yeah, Meghan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that she could have felt that way. So like certain things I can't say whether a person felt or not. It's like if something happened to a girl, I can't say it didn't happen. I can't say a person didn't feel that way. Maybe she could have felt that way from different sayings, like with whoever said about the baby skin color, right? Whatever. But then I'm understanding what people saying on the outside to a certain point. They saying, well, if that's the case, the baby is how old now? If that was the case, it's an issue now, but it wasn't one then, right?
Okay. Yeah.
No,
That's what. No, I don't.
No. I mean, basically, what I'm trying to say is, anytime you marry a person and move in and get to know that person's family, you may fit in or you may not fit in, and then either side gonna have their opinion.
Let me get Jeremiah's opinion. What do you have to say, Jeremiah? Because you've been quiet.
This is just a mess because when it comes to race, I'm not going to say you have to tiptoe around it because I think we've done that for years, but I do think there's a difference between being racist and being stupid. And so I think that's a big difference. And who knows how that conversation was? Because, I mean, so knowing that whoever the previous caller was about somebody being the first, Black queen or Black princess, that was news to me. But let's just say it is Meghan. She's the first African-American person in that family. Well, they're not used to that. So who's to say somebody didn't have the conversation to say, so have you ever thought about what's to come? That's what happens in a lot of mixed households when a Black and white person get together. Some people do have those real conversations to say, have you thought about your children and what they may have dealt with? That could have been the conversation. It could have just came out and just said, have you thought about how dark this kid's skin color could be?
So
now, I personally
we don't want the royals to look like a Kardashian household in 30 years. all these Black mixed kids running around everywhere.
That's not a Kardashian. That is surgery. That's not a card. That's surgery. That has nothing to do with skin complexion.
I'm talking about the kids. I'm talking about the kids.
Oh, okay. You mean
when the kids get older?
Gabor is crazy. So Jeremiah, you think this whole thing is blown out of proportion?
I do think it has a tendency to, because at the end of the day, Charles could just came out and just said it. He wants to do a point by point to actually address the whole issue, but either he's not doing it or he can't do it. So like, you know what I'm saying? So I understand all the quote unquote rules that's over across the pond, and even you may want to do it, but you might not be able to. I'm not sure, but I think it'll be easy just to come out and say what you said or didn't say and just end it all.
Freddie, you wanted to add some more news to the conversation. What was it? Do you remember?
What my insider sources were telling me about. So I wanted to go to ITV with the whole Piers Morgan. I've got some insiders of people that work there, and they were telling me that yes, he did quit, but he was sort of, if he wasn't going to quit, he was going to get fired, basically. He had one more year left on his contract with them. And I think it's been interesting with that, because a lot of people obviously are disgusted by the fact that he's said that Meghan was lying and he refused to apologize. But whether, Piers Morgan, I think there are two sides. People either love him or they hate him. And there have been masses of petitions, people wanting Piers Morgan reinstated in his.
Oh,
why? Yeah, more people have petitioned to get his job back than that have complained to Ofcom. But But the other thing that I do know is that he feels that basically Meghan made it her aim to push him out of Good Morning Britain.
Let me ask you, Nurse, do you think Piers Morgan should have been fired? Or
I don't care about that, man. He's been able to say whatever foolishness he said for years and decades and been flying off the wall and saying foolishness. I don't care about that, man. As far as anything, we also need to be mindful. Harry is not a 7-year-old man, boy. This is a grown man that's a father, that's a husband. He did not stand up for this girl. And at the end of the day, he set up a beautiful plate so that she's the downfall and she's the only person to blame. And again,
you're saying that Harry is blaming everything on his wife?
Yes, all of a sudden you see what Freddie and the other young lady said previously. Oh, well, Harry's so innocent. Harry doesn't know what he's doing. Harry's a grown man.
Well, how did he set up his wife?
The first part of the interview made sure that Meghan Markle was sitting by herself with Oprah to bring up these type of things that she said Harry's the one that they told Harry. So why are they so free to talk to my husband about my color of my children, about me, about this? I'm confused. Why are you talking to him and not talking to us?
Hold on one second. Gabor, do you think Harry set up his wife?
No, I think that I don't think that he set up his wife. I believe that Meghan kind of is manipulating the whole thing.
But it's race. Harry's not black. He's not gone through the racism. It's Meghan that has gone through that. So therefore, it's for her to give her side of the story.
No, I can't understand where they're coming from.
So they were telling Harry not only about the child, about the title, everything. She said they told Harry. So yes, Harry's not black, but you know what your family dynamic was for years. We know that the culture, we know about what they did and where the money came from. And as far as the young lady Carol has said that I said that it wasn't about race, I've never not taken race away from it. I'm saying we need to hold everybody's foot to the fire, and everybody needs to stop acting as if though they don't know what racism is.
Hold on,
that's how they make their money.
I disagree with that. I don't.
Hold on one second. Jeremiah, let me drop you and bring back Corey so she can talk to her. Okay.
All right.
Corey, Nurse was saying wanted to say something. Go ahead, Nurse.
I never said that they did not have racism and she did not have that perception. What I said was
I never said that.
No, you said that what did you say that I said? That you didn't agree
I never said that. I said some of the things that you said was BS.
What were the
I never
things
said that
was BS?
That like the point that Harry's setting up his own wife, that's BS.
No, I just said that right now, but I'm saying previously, but I'm still standing behind that because if you're my husband, like she said, she never read the tabloids. Why is Harry, I just had a child and you're telling me what the tabloids are saying? I'm already emotionally not balanced. You know, these people aren't providing any type of therapy for me. Why do you keep feeding me this?
Hold on, Freddie has something to say. Freddie, is Harry setting up his wife?
I don't think he's setting up his wife. I think, with the race thing, Harry is not black. He's not mixed race.
But
Meghan is the one that went through that. That is Meghan. That is Meghan to be sharing that. She's the one that went.
She said he told her. He's not.
And the other thing is,
you
come
may
on,
not
do
be
you
black, but you
really believe that she didn't read the tabloids? She's spoken against it. She's definitely
the one that said it was
right that she's read them.
Well, she said Harry told her what the tabloids were saying, what everyone was saying. Again, I think both of them are full of it. But as far as what you were saying, Freddie, about the media, we should kind of control it to where people are saying certain things. I don't believe that as well, because if we're starting to censor all of us, everybody's going to be censored. So
Meghan was reading them tabloids. Meghan could play like she ain't never read Google and she ain't never read no tabloids. She was reading Google, she Googled their family, and she was reading those tabloids. Harry didn't have to come and tell her nothing.
What I'm saying is when it comes down to it, we know where the money and how this family was funded from day one. Everybody knew what it was. So when you were a participant of it, until they started cutting things or whatever foolishness they were doing, yes, I do believe they were doing stuff based off of race because that's where you were putting money in the slave trade. Let's not act cool all of a sudden.
She thought that she was going to be able, she thought that because in the United States, she was able to pass. She was, people could look at her and be like, oh, she probably got a little something in her. And she was able to pass and she thought she was going to go over there and do the same thing.
To add to that, the proof is in the pudding. The reason the majority of people, especially us knew well aware that Meghan was well aware of what she was signing up for. Oprah deadass asked her, "Oh, so such and such, were you what she said? Oh yeah, will you still be there?" That question Oprah asked her. She flat out said, "Oh, I wrote letters to the royal family, and I told her I'm dedicated to this cause, and that they can use me however you want." How you can tell that and sit down, write these notes, and then all acting like a victim when you were clearly showing, even there contradicting yourself, that you were well aware? Forget Google, you are well aware of what the tabloids were saying and what you're signing up for, because you wrote letters to the royal family stating, if you wasn't lying, "Oh, I'm dedicated to the cause, I know what it takes, blah blah blah." You knew what you were signing up for. It's as simple as that.
Corey, did you
I remember when it was announced that she was engaged to Harry, and Wendy went on her show and said that Meghan had ended up getting in contact with her show, and she wanted to come on the show and do an interview with Wendy, but they didn't know what to talk about because Meghan wasn't even a big actress at the time. She was really a nobody, right? And they was able to dig up records. Yeah, so she was able, so she's able to, you know what I'm saying, manipulate stuff and go behind the scenes and see stuff, you know what I'm saying, to put herself out there. The girl Googled Harry. She Googled Harry. You know what I'm saying? She was reading those tabloids. Now, all of a sudden, she's friends with Serena. She wasn't friends with them when she was a struggling actress. She wasn't friends with them before she became engaged, before she was supposed to be this duchess. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let me bring in more callers. Perry, I'll bring you back. Corey, I'll bring you back. I'm trying to get in many people as I can. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you.
What did you want to contribute to the conversation?
So I haven't been watching from the beginning because I usually watch the replays because of my schedule. So hopefully I'm not saying anything that's redundant, that's already addressed. But like, for example, Freddie, I just got the feeling that your views were influenced by the lies that they put out in the press, you know? And I don't
what? Like what, Jay? Like what?
Like, for example, when he said that they were traveling on private planes, how often did they do that? I've only heard of one instance on Elton John's plane.
And the baby shower to New York that they spent £500,000 on. That was done by private. She flew from London to JFK on private jet as well.
So you're saying that was one time, and the Elton John private
they went on holidays they went to Amsterdam. There were many occasions that they flew on private jet to Europe.
Let me ask you something, Freddie. So let me ask you something. Like, for example, when Kate made Meghan cry, and then somebody put it out in the tabloids that Meghan made Kate cry. Don't you think that some of the things that they were saying about that poor woman, some of those lies, and then she had to just smile and, keep a stiff upper lip and try to act like nothing was bothering her. Don't you think that people should, I'm not saying that everything about them is perfect, but don't you think that there's a lot of room for compassion with people? I mean, if somebody tells you that, every day they're putting out these lies, and people expect them to stay in England and get pounded so that people can sell newspaper, and then the palace can make her feel like she's insignificant, and then they're supposed to, it's like a no-win thing. They're supposed to stay there and tolerate it. And, when they're saying, I'm a human being, doesn't matter what I look like to you, I'm a person.
What she's saying, do you think the royals made her feel insignificant?
I think so. If she's saying to them that, I need help, I'm drowning here, and they say, well, you're not a paid member of the firm, so, we can't help you.
She was a paid member. And actually, I think when she came to the UK, I think there was a lot of support for her. And I think the big thing, even Meghan said it herself, was that she really sort of represented and related to people of the Commonwealth.
But I was watching this podcast today, and that's what I heard, that they're saying in England that when she went to HR in the palace, they told her, you're not a paid member, so there's nothing that we can do. We sympathize with you, but there's nothing we can do.
I don't think, it's royal protocol that they just don't respond to rumors about these things. That, there are lots of gossip about all of them that we see on different outlets.
she went directly to them. It wasn't like she was asking them. She was saying to them, that I'm very depressed. All the stuff that's coming out is hurting me. What can you do? Can you help me? Can you get me
What
out?
I want to do at this point is turn the conversation around and try to make it positive. Jay, what do you think that they can do to clear this thing up? Because I haven't talked to anybody that has a solution.
I have a solution.
Hold on, nurse.
Let
me just answer, and then I'll let you give you guys back your floor. I think that that they should. It doesn't have to be public, but I think that people from the palace, people whoever matters in their family, they should sit down and have a meaningful conversation, and they should hear each other. They should hear each other. I understand that the monarchy is an old and established kind of institution, and there's some things that maybe will never change. But I think too that, to make Harry feel like, he's a spear and he doesn't matter and all of that, I think that his father should hear him. And I think that, if there's something that they need to impart to them in a meaningful way, then, I think they need to listen to each other. And, it doesn't feel good for people who are non-white that they feel that the person that's head of their country, is held hostage to tabloids that can tell lies and do whatever. How can you feel valued that way?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm making it negative again. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, we got to end on a positive note. You're saying everybody calm down and talk. That's what you're saying.
Calm down and talk. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're people. When we die, we're not going to be princes or whatever. We're going to be a bag of bones going into the earth. We need to talk and listen to everybody. We all have the need for the same things, love, respect, kindness. I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Nerd, how can we make this a positive situation?
I don't want to talk to nobody. Where is the money? Everybody's been talking. We've been more than accommodating. Everybody's been kiki and kumbaya. I don't want to talk about it. Where is the money? You guys have been able to make so much money of what's on the slave trade, of the Commonwealth, and all this other foolishness. We can play these aristocrat games. We can play all this, taking photos and photo ops and this, that, and the third with the 1 or 2 Black people and make it seem as if though, oh no, we're not a racist. Well, what were you funding for all these decades and centuries? I don't care about tabloids or who says, where's the money? Make sure that the money is allocated. If you want to talk about something, let's talk about allocating those that have lost their lives in the middle of what you funded. So if we want to look up racism and we want to know what the definition is, because everybody all of a sudden don't know, look up those people and you'll see their faces right next to the word racism. Stop with the games. Stop with the games. Y'all know better. Y'all know exactly what y'all doing.
Sharrell, you on mute.
I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. Are you saying that also to make things better would be if the family started giving money back to Harry and Meghan?
No, Harry and Meghan is fine. Meghan made her money. Harry got all this because of his mother was an aristocrat, where that conversation is even about her money. That's why even when she wasn't with the father anymore, she was able to still live the same life because of her family dynamic. They always had money. But what I'm saying is, if you want to make this right, put money back into those people that you guys funded to keep your foot on their necks, to make sure that you depleted all of the resources from Africa and areas and countries. Put the money back.
Oh, why you didn't come here? I got the headband on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I'm listening.
Stay online. Is that you? I can't hear, pretty girl. Is that, what did you want to add? How do you make this situation better?
I mean, just like the lady said, I believe everybody should talk, sit down, and just have a conversation. But at first of all, you got Meghan should never did the interview. That's just my point of view. She should never did the interview and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because she made things worse. You know, she made things worse.
Be quiet.
So
I don't know what that is.
I mean, you got to sit down and just talk. And I believe the first conversation got to start with Harry and his brother William.
Yeah.
Then you can start with Harry and his father.
Yeah.
But then it goes
All right.
further on.
Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate the call. Thank you, because I'm having.
I'm glad you're feeling good. Hi, Freddie. Hi, Gabor.
Hey,
I love
Thank
you,
you.
Gabor. I love Gabor all the time.
love you
Okay.
Tell
too.
Perry I
Okay, I will. Thank you. That's so
Bye.
funny. Okay, Corey, before we end this, how do you make this situation positive?
You have to find the person who said it first. The
Yes,
only thing that's going to
ma'am.
make it positive is the systematic system of racism is gone. And as a biracial person myself, Gabor, I don't think she was passing. We don't choose sides. We don't choose who we are, because I'm not black enough, I'm not white enough, and I'm not indigenous enough for anybody. So we are in the middle, and we grow up and we go through hell growing up. And it's not fun, and she's not playing it, and she is not being passing. She said it herself. She's not going to deny either side of her family. I won't either. I won't choose. I've lost school scholarships because I won't choose.
Well, thank you for calling in, Corey.
No problem.
I appreciate the call. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
One more. Hold on. Okay. Hi, Jana. How do we make this situation better?
The only thing I can say is finally the truth is really coming out. Meghan has controlled the issue, and now is coming on to the royal family that I'm sorry, I need to turn something off, right?
Yeah, that's okay. Just state your point. How do we make it better? How do we make it better?
How do we make it better? It's time to stop all this racial crap, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, you're not. Go ahead.
But it's time for everybody to take honor on who you are. You are a person. You live your life, but quit putting out all this crap on YouTube, tweets, TikTok, all this kind of stuff. Live your life. You enjoy who you are. You embrace who you are. Do not constantly put out there that I am this, and this has happened to me. Everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. Embrace it, love life, and love each other.
And I think I'm going to add to that. You're saying watch what you say in public, in the media, in all of these chats, things like that. Let's just try to be more civil and more happy.
You've been through a lot of crap, and so have every other YouTuber and whatever you do on media. It's time for somebody to love each other.
Yeah.
You find the beauty in a person, and you embrace them, and you say, hey, I enjoy this, I enjoy that. Quit putting out the negative.
Yeah, that's a good. Thank you, Jana. I appreciate that call. That was true. We got to start being positive. Thank you for calling in. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woo! Like I said, guys, it got heated. It got heated.
Right.
People are passionate. They're really passionate about it.
Sharrell, anytime, let's keep it real. And you know, we can talk about how Meghan could be manipulative, be a liar, right? Trust me, everybody in the royal family ain't always told the truth. So lying go on both sides. But the biggest issue here is what I think to make things better is everybody got to take the blinders off their eyes and start seeing racism for what it actually is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and stop trying to, keep this ball rolling down the road. That's
Jeremiah, how you make this situation better?
I think you just got to expose it. You just got to expose it all, because this is the thing. People, I think that you have, and I'm not speaking for every Black person in America. I just want to make that known.
You got to put that out there.
Yeah, I got to put it out there. But you have some people like Nurse, which I completely understand where she was coming from, where she's tired of talking. And then you have others where you can't be tired of talking, because if you stop talking, where are we going to go? Right. How are we going to move from point A to point B if we so pissed we can't talk about it anymore? Now, trust me, I get it. As a Black man, I 100% get it on why some of us feel like I don't want to talk about it anymore, because what else is there to talk about? But you can't stop the conversation. And then, I was going to say the last person, all this love and light and stuff. And I get that, but you also got to call a spade as well.
Maybe a combination of both.
Yeah.
Gabor, how does the people make this better? It's getting crazy.
Well, I think that Meghan and Harry shouldn't have did the interview if they weren't going to name who said what and who did what. I was not trying to say, so I'm not talking about all biracial people. I'm talking about specifically on Meghan. Meghan does not look like a biracial person. Meghan looks like a person who may have a black grandparent, one black grandparent. She doesn't look like a normal biracial person. She's way lighter than a normal biracial person. And so she was able to pass off that is what I was saying, right? She doesn't really talk about the black part, you know what I'm saying? So she was basically passing.
But I wanted to add to this. You said they shouldn't have done the interview. They did it. We're here now. How do we quiet this down?
Well, they should have talked about and said who they were talking about. Who said what? And I do think that her children deserve a title.
I don't.
And was it one conversation or multiple conversations they had? Because didn't one of them said it was multiple conversations they had about Archie's skin color, and then the other said that it was one conversation. And there are things like that were a bit conflicting as well. And I think the other thing in regards to the royal family is there's sort of a hierarchy. Prince William and Kate are above Meghan and Harry because William is the future heir to the throne, as he is the oldest son of Prince Charles, who's going to be our future monarch as well. And that was why I think they're sort of trying to cut back on the royal family. That's what there's been a lot of talk about. So maybe that's why Archie wasn't given a title. But I seem to remember that people from their camps were saying that they wanted Archie to live a normal life and they didn't want him to have the title.
Mm-hmm. But correct me if I'm wrong. Prince Charles is like great nieces and nephews, like his brothers, kids. They don't have a title, do they?
I don't think so.
So what's the difference?
I think that to me, it seems like Meghan wanted her children to have the title.
She did.
That's what it seems like. And I feel like if she wanted them to have a title, then they should have one. It's different if they didn't want them to have a title. But Meghan kind of, from the interview, from what I got, she wanted her children to have the title. And if she wanted them to have one, they should have one.
Well, at this point, call him Ambassador Archie. Like, y'all then step down now.
All right, you guys, thank you for calling in. I appreciate the call. I'm going to go ahead and drop you and then end this with my last words, because I don't know if you guys noticed. It was heated, but I didn't get to say anything. So I'm going to speak my piece. Thank you for calling in, Jeremiah. I appreciate your opinions and your words. Freddie, our British ambassador, that's what I'm going to call you. Thank you for coming with the facts and how it is on the other side. We are in two different countries, and, the cultures are tad bit different, but they're different.
Yeah, I think that everyone's got opinions across the board. But the one thing that, with that Piers Morgan stuff, it's interesting. He's saying that he thinks Meghan pushed him out of the job. But I don't think Piers Morgan is going to be disappearing. Let's not forget he's one of the editors for the Mail Online in both the US and the UK.
No, really?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of people that like what he says, that he says what he thinks. And, with coronavirus and stuff, he was really holding our politicians to account, trying to get them to tell the truth. So I think a lot of people have respect for him in that. But at the same time, people thought he just shouted all the time. I do think, for those who think that Piers Morgan's going off air, I think he will come back at some point because whether people all like it or not, there is a demand for him.
Yeah, it is. All right. Thank you, Freddie, for being our British ambassador. That's what I'm going to call you. Thank you for calling in. Does that make you laugh, the British ambassador?
Yeah.
All right, Perry, thank you for sitting in and taking this call. I know you were tired, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I love you, honey.
Okay, love you too. Okay. Gabor, did you have any last words?
No, I don't.
You don't. Thank you for calling in and contributing to the conversation. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay. All right, guys. I just want to end this by saying this is a mess. I don't see it ending anytime soon, but I think everybody needs to calm down. Feelings are hurt within the royal family, and everybody just needs to talk. Now, doesn't that sound simple? I bet you it won't get done. I bet you it won't get done. I think feelings is way, way too hurt. So I wanted to thank everyone for the super chat. You don't have to support the channel, and you do. So I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, everyone, for joining the chat. This is a heated conversation. I don't like doing the Harry and Meghan stories, but I have a high demand for it. As you know, people call in, they want to speak their opinion, and every opinion on this channel is appreciated. So thank you, everyone, for joining the chat, everyone that gave their opinions, everyone who called in. And I hate to say it, but I'll probably do another one. It's a high demand, guys. I can't help it. Anyway, thanks for everything. And until next time, I'll probably be back tomorrow with a interview with Marcelino and Brittany. So don't miss that if you watch Love After DACA. For now, thanks, everybody. See you next time.